Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Newman, and today we'll be unboxing Batman Beyond from Mondo Toys. This 1/6 scale figure measures 12 inches in height, is made of PVC, ABS, and clear PVC, and comes with several accessories. Now before we get to the unboxing, it would greatly be appreciated if you were to like this video, if you do indeed like it, and subscribe. That way you'll never miss a future unboxing. So I happened to purchase this figure from BigBadToyStore.com. They're a great online retailer. You should give them your business. I've never had any issues with them, but you know who I have had issues with? These guys. If I'm getting a Mondo figure, I'll typically go to the Mondo website itself as opposed to a third party, but I decided not to get the timed edition of this. Mondo's usually pretty good about offering stripped down versions of their figures, usually once the timed editions have shipped out. So once this popped up on Big Bad Toy Store, I decided to add it to my pile of loot. In all honesty, this is probably going to be a one-off, mostly because I really had no intention of collecting any Batman figures in this scale. I would have really preferred this figure be in the 1/12 scale. But the Batman Beyond figures that are in the 1/12 scales, they're not my cup of tea. They're a little over-designed, and the ones that aren't, I don't really like the look of. Also, there aren't really many villains or tertiary characters from the Batman Beyond series that I really want a figure of. I don't know, maybe a Blight. If they made a Blight, I might think about that, but probably still no. The packaging is really nice. It's nice and streamlined, much like the character design itself. Looks like they gave it an extra side for a little bit of pizzazz. And one great thing that Mondo likes to do is they put the artist who worked on the figure on the package itself. So that's really nice. That's appreciated that they're looking out for the quote-unquote little guy. Alright, now that we got the head back on, this figure looks pretty nice. It looks really good. It looks like an almost one-for-one copy of the animated character design. This looks like an amazing recreation of it. It looks really good. Paint application is A1. The sculpt is fantastic. This looks really good. If I do have a single complaint off the bat, it's those holes on his back. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So head is on a ball joint, obviously. There's a pretty good tilt in here. You can't, that's a shame. You can't go all the way up like I would like for some flight positions, because that head's going to come right off. So arms go up to about yay high. There is a twist at the deltoid. We also have a hinge in the deltoid as well, which is extremely tight. Those are very good. We have single joints in the elbow. All right, we have a ball joint on the wrist. All right, pretty good range of movement there, nice and tight. As far as the hinge part of it, there is an ab crunch. It's fair. It's okay. When you do it, it does kind of obscure the symbol on his chest, but that's just, I don't know, it is what it is. You can't do much about that. There is a twist in the waist as well, which is really tight. Legs go to a bite here. Not a huge range of movement. There are single joints in the knees. They are pretty good. And we have really good ankle articulation as far as range of movement, but they are way too loose for my liking. So overall, the articulation is it's fine. You know, there's nothing to shout home about, but it's okay. All right, let's move on to the accessories. So first up, we've got his grapple hook. It's all one solid piece of plastic. The sculpt is really good, and there is a red paint application for the button. We have a batarang, which is really good. Paint application is pretty good on this as well. We've got that egg from that episode. Mondo just loves having those quirky accessories for these figures. What I'm going to do with this, I don't know. We've got a batarang that is electrified. The electrical pieces are a separate piece that are removable. We have a set of hands with talons on them. This looks really good. We have a hand for the batarang and a hand for the grapple hook. Both look really good. Good paint. We've got another hand for that three-pronged batarang. And we have his wings. They look good, but I gotta be honest, I wish they were curved inward as opposed to outward. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. Here is the regular batarang, and we have an extra head sculpt with a closed mouth. Looks really good. Looks as good as the original head sculpt. And last but not least, we have a part of the figure stand. It looks like this cushion is coming off. There's adhesive on the back of it, so hopefully that'll just stay there. I'm glad that they have these cushions on here, so they won't damage the figure itself. So that's really nice. This feels extremely sturdy, by the way. And here's the base. The base is really good. It's two separate pieces of plastic, so it looks as though that the red bat symbol tail is a separate piece, and it really gives it a little bit of depth. All right, so let's bring this figure back in here so we can attach his wings onto his person. Again, I don't like the fact that there are these big holes on his back when the wings are not there. I'm not a big fan of that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how else they would have went about it. So, I mean, it looks good. It looks pretty good overall. Again, I would have preferred that they curve inward as opposed to outward, but this is not inaccurate. He's pictured doing both in the series, so this is just personal preference on my part. Now, one thing I'm not too keen on is the lack of double joints. I mean, like nowhere. There's no double jointed knees, no double jointed elbows. Truly, I understand keeping the integrity of the design intact, but this is a fairly acrobatic character, so I don't know. I probably would have thought that. You can get some pretty decent poses out of the figure, so I'm not hating entirely, but I am going to be extra picky for a figure that's in this price range, because this figure is pretty pricey. Now, the plus side is that the swap out for the heads and the hands is extremely easy, and I don't feel as though the hands are too loose. The head may be just a tad, but I wouldn't say it was bad. The use of the accessories, it works very well. All of the hands work very well for the accessories that are included with this. The only issue that I had was the hand for the grapple hook. I had to heat that up, but after I heated it up, I was able to get the grapple hook into his hand. The base is pretty simple to put together. The peg hole is a hexagon, and the insertion piece is a circle, so hopefully that should make it super tight and super sturdy. So there you go. And there's also 2 peg holes on the base itself, so you can just have them standing up without the use of this arm. So that's pretty nice as well. And now when I say that this base is probably going to be one of the most important pieces of this figure, trust me when I say it's going to be one of the most important things for this figure, because the ankles on this figure, I'm going to be honest, I think they're kind of trash. They're not good. They're loose to the point that it makes posing the figure slightly unenjoyable. And that's something you never want in a figure. You never want to be irritated playing with your figure. I might have let it slide if this figure was a little cheaper, but this thing was $214.65. And now if you want to get it now, it's ballooned up to $223.99. And you know what? I'm going to go on a pretty substantial rant. So if you're not a fan of politics, just tune out right now. Just close off the video. But that extra $10, it sent me. I know it's the equivalent of a value meal, but it was literally the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, the initial impulse is to blame Mondo and companies like Mondo for trying to fleece their customers out of their money by these really expensive figures. And look, yes, there is a little bit of that, but I think it's high time that we all be honest with ourselves. I mean, everything is becoming more expensive. This is just a symptom. I know this is a channel just about toys, about things that ultimately don't really matter. I'm not talking about food. I'm not talking about medicine. These are toys. Ultimately, you don't need this figure. You don't need any of these figures. This is a fun pastime to have, but it's sort of indicative of the rising price of everything. Everything is compounding. My electric bill was almost double of what it was last year. A pound of beef at the grocery store was $10 fucking. Ridiculous. If you think these toy prices are bad now, just give it 6 more months. If we as a country keep doing what we're doing, a quote-unquote middle-class life will be completely untenable. You know what the best thing is about this figure? It's not the sculpt, it's not the paint, it's the fact that it doesn't matter, that this is not medicine, that this is not insulin, that you will not be able to afford in the coming months. And I feel as though it's irresponsible for me to not use my platform, meager though it is, to really say we've got some really serious problems. I mean, America's always had problems, but things are getting really bad now. I live in a relatively high income area, and 3 major businesses closed down. And you know what replaced them? $2 stores and a beauty supply store. That is not a good sign. So look, if you feel as though your local representative is not doing their job, call them, write them, email them, yell at them, because they work for us and they are doing a piss poor fucking job. Look, we can only bury our head in these toys for so long before it literally becomes a pastime for the rich and the rich only. All that being said, Big Bad Toy Store does have a 1/6 scale Batman the Animated Series Mr. Freeze Noir version for $120, and that price seems just about right. So alright, I think that's going to wrap everything up. FYI, if you decide to personally attack me because of my rants or attack other commenters, you will be muted immediately. Also, if you come in here with some both sides bullshit, I'm going to mute you too, because you're part of the problem as well. Everybody knows these dickheads are what's wrong with America. Alright, that's it. I'm done.